Praise the Lord. Genesis chapter 10. The descendants of Noah's sons. These are the descendants of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. These three had sons after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. The descendants of Gomer were the people of Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The descendants of Javan were the people of Elisha, Spain, Cyprus, and Rhodes. They were the ancestors of the people who live along the coast and on the islands. These are the descendants of Japheth, living in their different tribes and countries, each group speaking its own language. The sons of Ham, Cush, Egypt, Libya, and Canaan were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. The descendants of Cush were the people of Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabteka. The descendants of Rama were the people of Sheba and Dedan. Cush had a son named Nimrod, who became the world's first great conqueror. By the Lord's help, he was a great hunter, and that is why people say, "May the Lord make you as great a hunter as Nimrod." At first, his kingdom included Babylon, Erech, and Akkad, all three of them in Babylonia. From that land, he went to Assyria and built the cities of Nineveh, Rehoboth-ir, Keilah, and Resen, which is between Nineveh and the great city of Keilah. The descendants of Egypt were the people of Lydia, Anam, Lehab, Naphtah, Patros, Caslah, and of Crete, from whom the Philistines are descended. Canaan's sons, Sidon, the eldest, and Heth, were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, the Arkites, the Sinites, the Arvadites, the Zemarites, and the Hamathites. The different tribes of the Canaanites spread out until the Canaanite borders reached from Sidon southwards to Gerar near Gaza, and eastwards to Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim near Lasha. These are the descendants of Ham, living in their different tribes and countries, each group speaking its own language. Shem, the elder brother of Japheth, was the ancestor of all the Hebrews. Shem's sons, Elam, Asher, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram were the ancestors of the peoples who bear their names. The descendants of Aram were the people of Uz, Hul, Gether, and Meshech. Arpachshad was the father of Shelah, who was the father of Eber. Eber had two sons. One was named Peleg, because during his time the people of the world were divided, and the other was named Joktan. The descendants of Joktan were the people of Almodad, Sheleph, Hazarmaveth, Jerah, Hadoram, Uzal, Dikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All of them were descended from Joktan. The land in which they lived extended from Mesha to Sephar in the eastern hill country. These are the descendants of Shem, living in their different tribes and countries, each group speaking its own language. All these peoples are the descendants of Noah, nation by nation, according to their different lines of descent. After the flood, all the nations of the earth were descended from the sons of Noah. Genesis chapter 11. The Tower of Babylon. At first, the people of the whole world had only one language and used the same words. As they wandered about in the east, they came to a plain in Babylonia and settled there. They said to one another, "Come on, let's make bricks and bake them hard." So they had bricks to build with and tar to hold them together. They said, "Now let's build a city with a tower that reaches the sky, so that we can make a name for ourselves and not be scattered all over the earth." Then the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which those men had built, and he said, "Now then, these are all one people, and they speak one language. This is just the beginning of what they are going to do. Soon they will be able to do anything they want. Let us go down and mix up their language, so that they will not understand one another." So the Lord scattered them all over the earth, and they stopped building the city. The city was called Babylon, because there the Lord mixed up the language of all the people, and from there He scattered them all over the earth. The descendants of Shem. These are the descendants of Shem. 2 years after the flood, when Shem was 100 years old, he had a son, Arpachshad. After that, he lived another 500 years and had other children. When Arpachshad was 35 years old, he had a son, Shelah. After that, he lived another 403 years and had other children. When Shelah was 30 years old, he had a son, Eber. After that, he lived another 403 years and had other children. When Eber was 34 years old, he had a son, Peleg. After that, he lived another 430 years and had other children. When Peleg was 30 years old, he had a son, Reu. After that, he lived another 209 years and had other children. When Reu was 32 years old, he had a son, Serug. After that, he lived another 207 years and had other children. When Serug was 30 years old, he had a son, Nahor. After that, he lived another 200 years and had other children. When Nahor was 29 years old, he had a son, Terah. After that, he lived another 119 years and had other children. After Terah was 70 years old, he became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. The descendants of Terah. These are the descendants of Terah, who was the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran was the father of Lot, and Haran died in his native city, Ur in Babylonia, while his father was still living. Abram married Sarai, and Nahor married Milcah, the daughter of Haran, who was also the father of Iscah. Sarai was not able to have children, Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, who was the son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, Abram's wife, and with them he left the city of Ur in Babylonia to go to the land of Canaan. They went as far as Haran and settled there. Terah died there at the age of 205. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.